Pikaboo has a very particular set of skills.
I can tell you I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
And something that he practices quite often. That's, plays a lot of twos, a lot of double DPS twos. I feel like this is kind of exactly what his playstyle is for, right? He's really good at setting up kills for himself, getting out damage, finding win conditions. And I think in like a solo shuffle tournament like this, especially with how strong rogues are, he's going to really excel.
God, I hate mages. They're so arrogant. Ugh. I'm just kidding.
None of them are choosing.
I'm still here.
Play... Oh,
that's
kind of
awkward.
awkward.
That's really awkward.
Production, can you warn us next time?
Yeah, can you kick him out? Just mute his mic, man. We don't need him.
Yeah, he's done. He can go. It's fine. It's time for him to go. I'm still surprised to not see any mages try any other specs. Like they're still all just fire. Considering all the mages have lost this fire, even if it maybe is perceived as worse, just trying it might be a good idea. This is our first Ret Paladin with KZ Fox. And Pikaboo is actually not playing Outlaw. He's playing Assassination, so quite a bit of a difference in composition. Dilbar looks like he's the target initially here for this Ret Paladin Fire Mage. A lot of burst damage onto him, and I feel like Dilbar's the one that's got a lot to prove, given the chat's predictions, really counting him out overall. So that could have two implications for him, right? It could either maybe make him crumble under the pressure or make him stand up and prove what he's got here in the competition. Ret Mage is a really odd composition. Shaman healing rogue mage is also never normally an occurrence, so I have to wait and see if it works out for them. As we can see, Pikaboo going for a Fleshcraft, trying to just bolster his defense, but he's not really the target. Abrua is at the moment, as Dilbar's in a polymorph, unable to heal. Kearney now into a Ring of Frost. They're turning it around on the KZ Fox. That gets Kearney's Trinket. And he's actually polymorphed on his Trinket. They might be able to get Divine Shield. They're very close to it. Oh, and they do get Divine Shield on top of it. This was a big push for Pikaboo, Abrua, and Dilbar.
I absolutely love seeing these different compositions, love seeing a Ret Paladin. We didn't get to see that at all yesterday in the European bracket. I was actually, fun fact too, we've got Vanguards behind the scene observing this match too, so I'd love to get his take after this matchup on just how he thinks this Ret Paladin is doing. However, he's dropping just a little bit low, not using using an offensive pressure to try and get that health back up just a little bit, pop the wings, so it looks like he's stabilized just a little bit. Kearney caught in a poly as well. It's like K Fox going behind the pillar there, just trying to fleshcraft just a little bit. Pikaboo still going after him though, and his health continues to drop, but Kearney is still able to keep him alive. So no one down just yet. Dampening at 30%. Love seeing that we're just having these games go so quickly with how quickly this dampening ramps up. Really makes the pace of the game quite different. And compared to Europe, Super Tees, how do we feel like the pace of these matches are going so far?
I mean, it's completely different classes at the moment. Pikaboo's in trouble, though. Oh!
Forget my question. Pikaboo goes down. Yeah, you stuck with that choice too. I mean, once you pick a spec, you can change your spec between matches, but you can't. Once you're actually in the round, you can no longer switch between specs. You can obviously change your talents and everything like that, but he's stuck with this one. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see if he gets another. See if he gets another chance here. It's only match 2, so quite a few chances to sort of pick things up a little bit. We'll see who he opens up on, but we've got the mages split once again on both sides. What were they for the first? No, we haven't seen them on the first team yet, so or on the same team, excuse me. So looking forward to that one. But yeah, I agree with you about the mage. I would love to see them just try Frost or maybe even Arcane just to see how it goes, We've seen the fire mages just consistently get absolutely tunneled down, and I feel like just in the grand scheme of things, maybe one game loss isn't that big of a deal if it kind of settles the debate of whether or not Frost is good. But like I said earlier, you kind of have to commit to it. So,
ooh, this is not. I mean, Ret Mage is like in a good position against Rogue Mage Priest. This is really surprising right now to me. If Pikaboo loses the Rogue Mage matchups, that's gonna be really bad. For his chances to get a lot of points in this series at the moment. KZ Fox, crowd controlled though, and now that Avenging Wrath is on cooldown, he's going to be a lot less threatening. He's still going for the Hammer of Justice, still just trying to win the game here onto Pikaboo. Polymorphs onto KZ, Kidney Shot onto Abrua. Good crowd control between Pikaboo and Wealthy Man, eliminating those threats. Abrua actually decides to Ice Block. Not sure if 100% if he needed to do that or if he was doing that offensively and defensively. It seemed a little bit like it wasn't necessary right at that moment, but sometimes it's hard just to track who has what cooldowns between the rounds, as that's not resetting on the UI for us. Pikaboo trying to reposition for a re-stealth. and get that garrote silence, but he's not able to get into stealth at the moment, so he's just kind of at the pillar waiting for an attack. He's going to pull the trigger on the kidney shot vendetta. How much damage is he going to get out here onto a Brua? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like too much, yeah, considering Dilbar's in a full polymorph. Pikaboo really needs to get some damage out during this time. Brua hasn't even altered time, so he's looking quite tanky throughout this crowd control on Dilbar. The last polymorph, KZ Fox gets a Sanctuary on the crowd control after that. It was a pre-Sanctuary. Really well done on his part on that Ret Paladin, but now they've got a kidney shot. They're using that as off crowd control, chasing down the Mage, gunning for the kill. They're so close to it. Oh, the garrote silence from Pikaboo. Is it going to be enough to finish a Brua? They're going to proc cauterize, I think. They're just a couple points away of damage from getting it. I can't believe they didn't get the cauterize right here onto a Brua. Dilbar with a massive mana advantage. That's not going to be a win condition, I think, for the side of Kearney and Pikaboo, whereas it could be for Dilbar's side if they manage to continue to stay stable throughout this match. Pikaboo definitely a target. Cloak of Shadows at 10% life, and the Guardian Spirit, a lot of cooldowns. It seems like KZ Fox on that Ret Paladin is ready at any moment to punish Pikaboo.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of trust right now between a Brua and Dilbar. It's something we touched on quite a bit yesterday. You really have to trust your healer in these situations, despite the lack of synergy. And Brua is getting these setups on him, getting these goes on him. He's continuing to hold those defensives, not really having to use much to get out of those situations. Dilbar doing a really good job of keeping him topped up. Wealthy Man dropping extremely low, though. Still has that cauterize. We'll see if he's able to recover. No trinket. Kearney, nothing where he's trying to keep him alive. Looks like he's able to stabilize just a little bit. And once again, time after time in these matches, these poor fire mages are just getting wrecked. But Pikaboo dropping just a little bit in health. But a Brua could go down as well. It's like at any moment now, one of these three guys is going to go down.
Yeah, Dampening is just too high at this point. I think the next round of burst damage, which is actually coming... Oh no, Brua has combust. He is the next big hitter. Pikaboo could just go down, and he will, down 2 rounds. KZ Fox on this Ret Paladin is wrecking house right now with a 2-point lead. The only Ret between both regions. And now, like, as Pikaboo, like, do you regret locking in Assassin? Was it actually the better pick? Because if you've lost the matchup as RMP, like, it's going to be really tough. He's got double Mage. This is where, like, you can't. This is like you can't, like, if you lose to double Mage. But I actually feel like Ret Paladin could lose to double Mage. As weird as that sounds, I actually think out of all the classes in the game that could lose to double Mage, it would be a Ret Paladin.
Oh, that's horrible. With double melee as well, it definitely makes it a little bit difficult to get those set up. So we'll see how this double fire mage goes. I mean, there's a lot of room on this map, lots of pillars that they could be utilizing to the caster's advantage. KZ Fox just going in there, firing his fireball. Blades, oh my gosh, look at how hard he's going in on them too. He does not want to lose this. He knows the pressure is on against this double fire mage. So love being able to see. That is just the awesome thing about this format, about this solo shuffle. We get to see these compositions that we don't have the pleasure of seeing in AWC, like the double fire mage. So we'll see what they can do. Kearney caught in a stun, getting chunked down a little bit by Pikaboo. He might just go down here.
Really close right now. But it looks like he's going to escape or try to. No, he's turning it around. Chastise stun on the peak. You can't go down 3 rounds already, Pikaboo. No. Everybody's betting on you. You can't let down the fans in this position. Oh my goodness. He's going to be able to survive, but it costs Cloak of Shadows. He's back at the pillar trying to find his target. And double melee DPS, especially with a Ret Paladin. I feel like double Fire Mage actually could have a shot here, but they're going after Kearney once again. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. They're going in for the kill. Brua gets interrupted by Dilbar. Lava Burst getting lobbed out. Kearney fades back to the pillar. Has Apotheosis. He's probably going to have to pop it. Gets a Fear onto Pikaboo and manages to stabilize through the Smoke Bomb push. That was a big moment for him to survive right there. Now they've got Combustion. Pikaboo has no Cloak of Shadows. Pikaboo's in kind of a bad spot comparatively to where Dilbar. They should go after Dilbar in midfield. He's going to get swapped, but managed to survive with the Astral Shift. I really like that Abrua and Wealthy Man are just mixing it up, going after whoever's in the open and not overextending, standing on top of the melee DPS on their pillar, just finding any opportunity that presents itself and trying to maximize it.
Yeah, absolutely. Loving that synergy between them. Obviously, a lot of communication going on behind the scenes. I know I've seen, quite a few questions in chat on Twitter as well as to whether or not these guys have communication between each other. They do have a Discord server that's optional to them. I know that Europe yesterday, they were kind of talking to each other and utilizing that Discord. I'm not sure about North America. I'll have to look into that, but they do have that available to them. Did Kearney just die?
It looks like it, but we have to wait and see if he's running the Resurrection Legendary, which I don't think he is, as I don't see the stacks on him currently right now. But he's not. That's going to be it. The double Mage stream is dead. Pikaboo gets his first point. KZ Fox gets an insane lead. Let's see if he can step it up here. He's got Dilbar now healing him with Rogue Mage and Wealthy Man. So definitely Wealthy Man has a lot of experience with this composition, been competing in tournaments for years. Dilbar as well as a tournament player, as well as a multi-rank one. So they've got to pull this off. They've actually just dropped the smoke bomb right away, and Abreu has easily escaped it. Pikaboo's on the run trying to escape, not wanting to get set up on, but they're actually just swapping to Dilbar. Big swap. And the thing about Ret Paladins is like, they'll just hit anything. Like they don't care. Like anything. Oh, you ran away.
The
all right,
ultimate melee class.
I'm fine hitting the shaman. That's good.
Get
I
on
don't
that
really
little
care.
horsey chase after you. There's no escaping.
So you got to be careful when you're running away and trying to retreat from a red, because they will just immediately swap targets and drop your partner instead. Now Pikaboo getting blasted. Has to evasion. And Brua now on the back foot. Kearney struggling to keep him up on the Holy Priest in this position. Dragons, but actually trinkets. That he might regret that. Blind is coming up or is available depending on if the cooldown has reset. From, oh my God, what is going on with Dilbar right now? He's just dying. He has to drop the Spirit Link Totem. KZ Fox is doing so much damage. And that's definitely put his side back in the game. The next time they have Combustion and a Hammer of Justice, I think that Dilbar will just go splat. But Kearney, with his mistake on his trinket, he can't escape this blind. And Pikaboo is looking for a re-stealth to get a sap. Is Abreu going to be able to stop the sap? He's in position. And it looks like the sap has been delayed onto Kearney. That crowd control chain that could have been lethal has now been subdued. Dilbar into a Ring of Frost. Where are they going to go with the damage? Abreu can't connect. KZ Fox can't connect. Really good coordination from Wealthy Man and Pikaboo. And I think they still want Dilbar. Look at that damage onto... What is going on? KZ Fox is a titan right now in this series. Like, oh my goodness. I mean, he's new to the scene, right? Abreu even is still reasonably new when you consider the timeline for Wealthy. Like, Wealthy Man and Pikaboo have been competing since they're like 14 or something. Yeah. So when you consider the timeline, like, you wouldn't expect them to be at the bottom of the points with this specific match grouping. We have to wait and see what they do here. Pikaboo's got another RMP on his side, and they're going after the Ret Paladin. They actually get Divine Shield instantly. This is a much better game for Pikaboo and Abreu and Kearney than the previous time that they played Rogue Mage Priest into this Ret Mage. If they can continue to get these setups on the Ret with Mind Games, it's definitely a clear win condition. But Pikaboo caught in a stun. That Ret Paladin is moving over like the Terminator. I'll be back. And Pikaboo is just going to piece it, pop Cloak of Shadows, and escape away. Now Kidney Shot, Smoke Bomb, big power play. Mind Games incoming. Abreu is trying to save him. The Spirit Link comes down on the Polymorph and connects their health at the last possible second. KZ Fox stays alive, but he's got to get a kill now. He's run out of defense to be able to survive into the future. If they don't execute on the target, he's going to be in so much trouble. And Pikaboo knows that, so he's just not letting him hit him. That's the best thing you can do with a Ret Paladin, is just don't let them hit you if you don't want to die. Kearney into a Dragon's Breath. Polymorph. Opportunity for KZ Fox. Pikaboo and a Hammer of Justice. Big opportunity. Here comes the damage. Is Pikaboo going to get dropped? Kearney breaks out of the crowd control. Now they're turning it around on the KZ Fox with a Kidney Shot. Pikaboo's trying to go for the kill. He needs to grab as many points as possible. It's so cutthroat. You really can't afford going 1-5 in any of these rounds if you want to qualify into the top end and get into Championship Sunday. Mind Games incoming. Big opportunity. Dragon's Breath for 1 second. Can they close it? Dilbar blocks it with Ascendance. Both sides stabilize, and both sides still have an opportunity to take this.
Oh my gosh, I mean, no one is safe here. We're getting 20% into Dampening. Everyone's trading off their cooldowns pretty evenly, and everyone keeps continuing to drop insanely low and stabilizing almost immediately. K-Fox, though, going down, and he's dead. He is honestly safe, though. He's got 4 points on the board. I mean, this Ret Paladin is really showing up here and impressing me. The only Ret Paladin this entire weekend, right? I mean, there's not a single one on EU. We're only seeing Holy Paladin. So obviously KZ Fox still totally fine after not winning that, but a couple of other team members getting some points. And I mean, the Rogue Mage, certainly not something easy to go up against. How do you think they did against that comp though, Sid?
Really well. I feel like Shaman and Ret are both classes that struggle with RMP generally, especially when you don't have a warrior or something with Intervene and all the disruption. So they still came really close, and now they get to fight double Mage Shaman. There's no stun. You don't want to play double Mage with no stun. Like, I don't even know how you're going to kill a target. Like a Cap Totem, there's no way. That's the biggest meme. Dilbar pre-walls the Kidney Shot. That's really well done by Dilbar in this initial stage, absorbing that first Hammer of Justice. This Smoke Bomb from Pikaboo, I'm not sure. I guess it was defensively. He's trying to use it to line of sight the mages as Kearney's in a Polymorph. He's in a bit of trouble still. KZ Fox sacrifices, redirects some damage, and they're just going to swap to KZ Fox. Can they actually win with a comp that doesn't have a stun? Dilbar into a Kidney Shot. Oh my goodness! He is iced out. And Casey Fox is going to be getting 5 points. Pikaboo tied with Abrua at 3-3, and Kearney with a big win, 4-2 over Diltwar in his third match of solo shuffle.
And then, of course, both of these healers are going to be playing the Discipline Priest. So we'll see if either one of them can kind of pull ahead and figure out a way to earn some additional points. Because I always say, you know, when especially in solo shuffle, when you have an identical role, like my main objective, like if I queue a solo shuffle and there's a Frost Mage, I always just want to beat the Frost Mage. Like I don't really care what my overall score is, as long as I do better than the other mage. And I feel like that's kind of the attitude a lot of players have. They just don't want to be outdone by someone playing the same spec as them.
Yeah. It's the class envy, it's the class bias coming through. You know, we've all felt it. It's the same in raids too. You know, you always want to be the top of your class doing damage. And Pikaboo will be sticking with that assassination rogue here, and he has a solid team here with the RMP. A lot of experience among these players. Kearney has actually been a player that really impressed me during the AWC. It was very, very nice to watch him play that priest. Let's see if he can pick up some wins here. Gex actually struggled a little bit in that first series. Let's see if he can kind of bring it back. Smoke bomb coming out here, forcing out Fuse's trinket on that feral druid. Aang now going to be the target of choice here for Drake and Fuse. Aang, though, not dropping too low. Gets the Guardian Spirit from Kearney, gets pulled back up here on Mugambala, and here comes the CC. Drake going for the kidney shot. Does he have anything to follow it up? Oh, he wants to sap it, but what beautiful Dragon's Breath denies it, and then Kearney comes in with the fear to deny that sap as well. Excellent stuff here, but now let's see if they can get some pressure onto Fuse. Big CC actually onto Gex, and they follow it up with the mind control. Nicely done. Can they take Fuse down here? Combustion is rolling. Kick instantly on the Fleshcraft by Pikaboo. Disarm onto Drake as well. Full counterspell secured there on the Shadowman, I believe. Fuse, what is he going to do here? He's burning down to the damage of Aang, but his combustion finally has faded, and the CC as well onto Gex. I think Fuse will recover, but that was a very close call there. But at the same time, that was Vendetta and combustion. I feel like the RMP is going to be kind of low on steam right now for a while.
Yeah, I think so too. That's normally how it works. We're gonna have to see Aang actually reset his combustion. Mana even for both of these healers. They're both just basically gassed out just 2 minutes into the match, but we're already at 30% dampening. You could be taking a little bit of damage right now. Beautiful mind control on Drake to slow down that damage. Don't have to heal through the damage that is prevented, and I like that line of thinking there by Kearney. Fuse, though, still incredibly low. Pikaboo, in the meantime, though, with 0 cooldowns. He just pulls the trigger on the Vendetta. Looking to get a counter kill, but he gets dropped. Pikaboo will fall in game number 1, and Drake, Fuse, and Gex take an early lead here.
Beautiful stuff here, and let's see how this one is going to develop here. We got double rogue right now. At least it's not double outlaw. We got an update here. Aang, okay, he's getting a few more votes. Nice. Pikaboo still ahead of Drizzy in that rogue vote, and Gex with actually a big lead over Kearney. I feel like I don't know. Gex he's pretty insane on that priest, but I feel like you can't really count Kearney out either. The way he was performing in the AWC, the way he's been, shaping up as a player, I feel like you definitely can't count him out. And that's what's so interesting to see here. How are they going to perform now when you just see all of these random comps, that FMP coming in right now, and you got Asa Rogue and a Outlaw Rogue. I feel like Pikaboo is going to be the target here for the FMP, and let's see if they can pull through.
We'll have to see if they're going to be able to do it. I think in theory, I would go in favor of the double rogue, but maybe just because Pikaboo is playing assassination, he might be susceptible to actually going down in this match. Normally, you have the double outlaw, which is incredibly tanky, but I do feel like there's some openings here. Aang taking quite a bit of damage off kidney shot here onto Gex, and that's one of the nice things about having double rogue is one of you can commit the kidney shot on the healer, the other can kidney shot the DPS, and it's just a lot of additional crowd control you can kind of put out. In this kind of environment, I feel like it's overall pretty solid, but we'll see. Pikaboo actually kind of struggling to connect to his target right now. Fuse doing a really good job on that Feral Druid, kind of playing defense, and Aang has been doing a great job just kiting around as well. Now eating a full kidney shot, the kidney shot on Gex. This is the double kidney shot, but Fuse, the disorienting roar, going for a cyclone, smoke bomb drops though, and that's going to be an ice block. There's a beautiful smoke bomb there by Pikaboo, allowing them to get that ice block and deny that cyclone from Fuse.
Yeah, beautiful. Kind of 2-in-1 there for Pikaboo. He's going for that re-stealth as well. going to be having that extra opener from stealth with the empowered Garrett, but I think he actually got pulled out there, or maybe he didn't actually get it. But now getting aggressive here onto Pikaboo. Pikaboo's dropping quite low. He uses his trinket, doesn't have evasion or anything. Kidney shot onto Aang, though. Aang is actually getting cooked here with his combustion rolling. That is a feels bad man if you're the mage. Powered barrier is going to be enough. Big penance coming in from Gex. Aang trying to stay alive. He's got the Fey Guardians onto him now as well for some extra damage reduction. Gex powering through with the Shadowman. One interrupt could seal the deal here. Pikaboo now caught up in the stun. Fuse trying to solo carry right now, trying to create some pressure while Aang is just basically a punching bag on that mage. Full blind secured here onto Gex. Defensive Cyclones being casted here by Fuse. He gets kicked on it. Can they follow it up onto Gex with anything else? They have a kidney shot. Drake looking for the sap, but gets denied again by those Dragon's Breaths from Aang. Beautifully done. Drake's going to go for the gouge now instead, but now they don't have any more CC here for Gex. Gex blinking in with that Soul Shade, getting a big fear. Kearney is going to use his Will of the Forsaken right there, and Aang will survive. Pikaboo will survive. Now 40% dampening. Anybody could fall.
Definitely. I mean, this is the point where the game just gets crazy. That 2, 3, 4 minute mark. Someone's going to go down, and it could be Aang. He's burning. Cauterize is going to trade, but I don't think Gex has the healing to keep him alive. We got the Quaking Palm onto Drake, and that might be enough to slow him down. Double Dragon's Breath, but the damage is just unrelenting. Aang gets podded, and that pod gets deleted. Drake taking a 2-0 lead. The healer's all tied up right now. Pikaboo puts a point on the board. And now Aang, he has his opportunity to play the Outlaw Rogue, and it seems like in this particular group, the Outlaw Rogue is pulling ahead so far.
So far, so good for Drake. And he had a strong showing as well. I believe he picked up 5 wins in his first group. So Drake, I mean, this is kind of what we expect from Drake, though. He's been always showing up, looking fantastic in the AWC. He's been winning it, I don't even know how many years in a row at this point. I mean, a lot of it comes down to that, awareness, that kind of solo awareness that he has. Very, very good at finding those win conditions, and at also realizing the enemy's win conditions and kind of preventing them. Now going after Pikaboo, and look at Aang already. What is going on here with Aang? Smoke Bomb trades out for Pikaboo here. Can they get something going there onto Aang? They wanted to get that Cauterize or the Ice Block, not able to find it. Ice Block, that 50-second timer is from that last game. It just hasn't reset on the UI, but Aang does have it available. And right now, Aang popping off with the combustion. Pikaboo going to trade out the Cloak of Shadows. There's the Vendetta. Big damage coming in here onto Aang. They got a full poly onto Kearney, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything. Kearney actually trinkets out from that polymorph, trying to get aggressive, or trying to keep Aang aggressive. And he actually manages to stabilize him. They don't get the Cauterize. They don't get the Ice Block. And I kind of like when the healer trades out his cooldowns first. Especially as a mage, like when you pop combustion, you don't want to be ice blocking with your combustion open. And also the heat. Oh, never mind. Aang got cast a curse right there. He's gonna have to trade out his ice block as well.
How dare
More
you?
CC onto Kearney here, and Aang will recover. But now dampening is starting to ramp up, and things are not looking great.
We do the reverse caster curse. Aang is going to go down here in just a matter of moment. Not able to get any damage, and definitely not going to one-shot anyone here. Let's see if that works. All right. Aang still taking quite a bit of heat right now. Kearney in the kitty shot. And this is danger time for Aang. That's the altar time. Let's see if they can actually get the Cauterize. Fuse and Pikaboo just running a pain train onto Aang. But Drake is there to play a little bit of defense. They managed to get the mind control onto Gex as well as the kitty shot on Fuse. But Gex preemptively trading out his pain suppression, really preventing that setup there. Now it's going to be Aang caught into a stun, and I don't know if Kearney can keep him up. Big healing incoming. That's the Cauterize. He's burning Soul Shape, trying to cross the map, but I think he may have ran out of time. Kearney should be able to top him. It's still only 30% dampening, but the damage is just so unrelenting from the Feral Druid and the Assassination Rogue. Pikaboo very far away right now. This is maybe an opportunity for the RMP, Aang Drake, to actually get something going. Kearney channeling out the Symbols of Hope, trying to just recover a little bit of mana. He's had to put out so much healing. Aang blinks away, but likely just going to be put into a full stun. Just goes for it with his combust, but I don't think this is a race he can win. Fortunately, will fall. And Pikaboo and Fuse, they managed to tie their score up with Drake.
Aang yet to pick up a single win here, and he has had, some rogue mage games, which is typically what we've seen these mages actually get their wins with. Aang definitely not having a good time right now, and he's probably going to get one shot very soon here. We're just trying to reverse cast a curse him. to make sure that he has maximum amount of luck here. It didn't work in that last game, but let's see. They're going after Kearney, actually. Let's see if they can get something going. Fear coming out from Kearney. Hasn't traded out any cooldowns just yet. Nice defensive plays coming out. Ang popping that combustion here, looking to get some damage going. And now, as soon as he comes in to peel, he becomes the target. But I think he actually altered time ball that. It might have gotten him dispelled right there. Kearney actually trinketing out from a blind there as well, which means Drake is going to have another blind ready. Vendetta is popped. Pikaboo, though, taking a lot of damage. Fuse actually war-stomping Pikaboo there on his Vanish. Here comes the Berserk as well for Fuse, trying to get something going here. But I don't know. It's going to be Ang actually taking most of the damage here. Fuse going in bear form, trying to incap Roar, trying to peel for his Mage, but now caught up in a full Fear. Kearney in a full blind, no way out. And I do believe they have a sap for this one as well. They actually kidney shot him, but no sap out of the kidney shot. Both rogues without a Vanish. They do force the ice block. Ang blinks the kidney shot. Can they get anything more? Gouge onto Kearney, and Shadow Step kick from Pikaboo. Smoke bomb coming out. Ang, if they can get the cauterize here. Oh, and they do. Absolute disaster for Ang. He's at least going to survive with the cauterize. Kearney in another kidney shot. Run, Ang, run. The rogues are coming.
Run. Try to avoid the kidney shot the best you can. He gets gripped away. A little bit of backup here by Kearney, and Ank's just gonna blink behind the pillar. He's like, I don't want this. I need a break. Like, leave me alone. But Drake says no way. He hooks over immediately on top of him. Poor Aang in this matchup, just getting interrupted after interrupt. Kidney shot. He blinks out of it, but his health is going nowhere. But down. Beautiful alter time, actually. Good plays there by Aang. I feel like Aang is actually playing well, but there's just not much he can do, and he will get dropped despite his best efforts.
What is going on here? We got double Shadow Shaman and Absters right there, backing up Whiskey's his teammate. And we got a Beast Cleave down there, but we are starting round number 5 here. And you got to give a big shout out to production as well, making sure that even when they're in the starting room, those 10, 15 seconds, we are constantly swapping between the games. We're constantly making sure that we're not skipping any of the action here. Ang is going to receive a pain suppression. Already believe he's down an ice block, might be from that last game there. Fuse also going to be using his trinket here. Ang actually getting good value there on that combustion. And we'll see if Ang can actually get anything else. That combustion is about to fade here. Double blind now onto Gex and Kearney. Pikaboo, what he's going to do? He's going for the sap. He finds it. It's a triple DR sap, though. And then he reopens here with Garroth into a Fear, into potentially a kidney shot. And Fuse right now is so dangerously low. They proc the Guardian Spirit. Does Pikaboo have a smoke bomb here to chain it with? Look at that edge on the smoke bomb, but Kearney manages to duck in and get some heals there onto Fuse. That was an excellent push. They almost took the game without any dampening there. Pikaboo really, really digging deep into his kind of play arsenal to find some moves there to try to close it out.
Well, let's see. Fuse and Drake trying to get in on Aang here. Can they continue the damage? Pikaboo's been doing a really good job kind of pressuring Fuse away in this match, kind of forcing him defensive. He's in bear form. He's running away. Something we haven't seen too much of. So Aang really trying to get the damage rolling so he can get a point on the board. Yex as well. You can see dampening in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. I mean, that game, it's getting close. What is it, 3.5 minutes? You can see WizK kind of rotting down as well as Prev. So it'll be interesting to see who pulls out ahead in this one. But on the main screen right now, still Fuse the target of choice. He gets gripped away by Kearney, just trying to create some space. But we've seen the Feral Druid struggle as dampening gets higher and higher. If they are being targeted down and constantly have that threat of being put into a kidney shot, it really limits a lot of their defense. And I think the Feral Druid ends up being a really, really good target later in the game. That'll probably be the main pressure point that Pikaboo and Aang try to go for. But look at Pikaboo. No defensive cooldowns at all. He gets stunned into a War Stomp and taken down. A beautiful setup there by Drake and Fuse, kind of mixing it up. The majority of that game, they're going after the Mage, but Pikaboo committed a few too many of his defensive cooldowns offensively, and they were able to kind of jump on that opportunity and take him down.
Anyway, we got another Rogue Feral this time. This comp actually is called Bleed Cleave with the Feral and the Assassination Rogue. So this is actually the original Bleed Cleave right now. Unfortunately, not a Disc Priest. Oh my god, what is going on with Aang here? What is happening? Did they just master spell his ice block? He's on fire. He's got no ice block, and they got no pain suppression. This is one heck of an opener here coming in from Pikaboo, and he drops the smoke bomb as well, trying to go for the kill 30 seconds in. That's got to be some kind of record if they can manage to kill Aang here. And they got a full blind here onto Gex. I don't think, oh no, he does use the IQD break out of the blind, unless it broke there. It's hard to see with that big wall in between us, but still a lot of pressure coming in here now onto Fuse as well. And finally, Fuse and Pikaboo finally taking some damage here from Aang's combustion. Can they get anything going though? Kearney in a full blind here. He has a trinket to work with. Will they sap it though is the question. It doesn't look like it. They mind control at the end of it, but that mind control will fade fairly quickly. And it looks like everybody will stabilize for now in this round number 6. And it's between Pikaboo, Fuse. No, actually, it's between Drake and Fuse and Pikaboo for that first spot. Aang! Okay, there is the ice block. So that other ice block was from that last game. Aang did have that in his back pocket, but now they got absolutely nothing left to work with. And this win would actually be huge. If Pikaboo can take this win, it would put him in a pretty good spot because Drake has been racking up the wins so far in this round. So Pikaboo definitely needs to try to tie with him. And same thing goes for Fuse on that Feral Druid, not having the best first series. This is his chance to kind of claw his way back in. The swap to Kearney though. Kearney, is he going to survive? Looks like he will come out of that kidney shot in half HP, and it looks like Kearney will be alive. And now once again, it's going to be Aang. He's basically just going down here. Aang dropping the Ring of Frost, catches a leap of faith. They're trying to stay alive, but for how long, Maruki?
I don't know. Please, Aang, get a point on the board. You have to do it. He might be able to. I think he just has to hold on a little bit longer, but I don't think he has his ice block available. Fuse and Pikaboo going to be going after him once again. This is the Berserk. This is a lot of damage here on Aang. And they take him down. He's kiting his best. He's got the Altar Time. The Double Dragon's Breath comes in. Maybe they need to go after the healer. Maybe we just need to see Aang go for full out control, get the Double Dragon's Breath, Ring of Frost, and just tunnel down the healer with Drake. And that's exactly what they plan on doing. They managed to get Kearney's trinket out of the way. He's out of line of sight. Flash healing. Should be able to survive. And it's going to be really difficult for Aang to actually chase with this positioning. And I think this could be the game. I mean, Gex right now in a blind. Aang gets potted. And unfortunately for Aang, let's see if he can live. Can he live? No. Is the pod tender going to live? The gouge, the kidney shot? Assassination's really bad. Oh, he actually lives.
What?
Assassination is really bad at killing pod tender. You have to get all your bleeds ramped up, and you just have basically no burst damage, but I think Aang might just fall. No, the little glimmer of hope for the Panda Mage. Unfortunately, he will get dropped, and that means we have a three-way DPS tie between Fuse, Pikaboo, and Drake for this round. And Aang, unfortunately, not able to pick up any wins.
Yeah, and my guy Brain, he's going to need to have a big performance as well. 3 wins should get him into maybe tiebreaker territory, but ideally we're going to need to see 4 wins. And speaking of 4 wins, I want to see Seralium pull out some big wins in this one. He's got Pikaboo on his side. He's got Gilisel on his side. Can they do it? Clapper right now getting absolutely clapped by the assassination rogue of Pikaboo. This is kind of the heroes. You got Seralium representing the mages right now, the best shot out of any mage to make it. And then you got Pikaboo here as well, looking to represent the assassination rogue, the only assassination rogue, Maruki.
Yeah, that is true. And this is actually the only Fury Warrior, I do believe, also. So, and the only Affliction Warlock. So, some people playing some different specializations here, really, really representing. Let's see what they can get done. This looks like a lot of pressure right now for the left side, though. This Warrior Lock Shaman is just absolutely tearing Pikaboo, Seralium, and Gilisel apart. Finally, a little bit of stabilization, but this map is very chaotic. Like Blade's Edge Arena, a very chaotic map, and I think that could, give some benefit here. I think for Bia, having the Z-Axis teleport is going to be really nice. And I honestly expect this Affliction Warlock to do really well in this lobby on this map.
Yeah, I think you could be absolutely right about that. Solo B just having a great time, basically being untouched right now. Pikaboo just dying without even being in his line of sight here. Doesn't even have a single dot on him, but he's just getting crushed right now. Gilisel actually catching a full fear. He trinkets out though. Clapper still taking a lot of damage here. Foxy Llama trying to get some work done there on that Shaman, trying to dish out those purges. Pikaboo manages to duck for cover, but look, they've left Gilisel by himself. Gilisel, he's as well, yeah. They manages to at least catch Clapper in that kidney and stabilize for a little bit, but Pikaboo's got no defense. Geranium's got no defense, and Gilisel is still just rotting down. This Affliction work is just taking control over this lobby.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking really good. Gilisel has been struggling from start to finish. Seralium, he's got no ice block. Cauterize burning him down. Of a silence on Gilisel. He goes for the dispel, but I think Cerulean is going to get chopped up, and that is a win for Foxy Llama Clapper and Solo. Kind of give my favor for the left side.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one, but we'll see. Cerulean, it would be nice to see one Mage pull it through. So but at the same time, Pikaboo is my top pick. So I feel like I'm very conflicted in this lobby who I want to actually win. But we'll just see. May the better team win. Pikaboo going in for the smoke bomb right now. Getting pinned down in his own smoke bomb by the spear. Taking huge hits of damage there. Foxy Llama coming in as well with some extra purges. But Gillisel manages to save the day. Pikaboo actually having to run with his own vendetta. But look at the pressure coming in from the warlock right now. Doing so much work when he's left free. And it's like you said, the warlock is just having a field day in this lobby right now. Not being targeted so far at all on this map. And you can see here the pressure is just unrelenting. We're not even in dampening and already major cooldowns being forced.
Now, this is looking really solid, but Pikaboo, keep in mind, when the assassination rogue, it's not like the outlaw rogue. You are very vulnerable. And a big fear coming in from Clapper. Leaps over, manages to get the intimidating shout and get the trinket from Jillycell. So really a good offensive plays there. And Pikaboo has to be a little bit scared. If you look at his cooldowns, he's got nothing. Literally no cooldowns left. Going for a play here on Foxy Llama. But if they go after Pikaboo too long and they're just leaving Bia completely wide open, but I don't think it's going to matter. Pikaboo is going to get taken down. And that is the one disadvantage, I would say. I mean, Assassination has some things that are really nice about it, right? Like the Shiv, to reduce healing. Vendetta is a lot of burst damage. But I'd say the one thing that it is kind of struggles with is a lot less durable than Outlaw. So I think he is going to be kind of a pressure point here. We'll see if Clapper and Pikaboo can actually take down this Mage lock.
You don't really have too much experience in the matchup, so you don't maybe know what the optimal target is, but they're going to go after the Affliction Warlock this time around. B's been having way too much fun in this lobby. I think it's a good choice. B's going to be trinketing out of that first kidney shot. No Vendetta committed, though. That next kidney shot is going to be absolutely deadly, especially with that smoke bomb available for Pikaboo, but he's taking quite a bit of damage here so far from that combustion of Ceruleum, so Pikaboo is going to stabilize a little bit. No Cloak of Shadows, though. Needs to be careful. Next kidney shot is coming any moment here. Oh, he's playing the gateway with the knock. He just knocks the entire team here, and they will pin him down with the spear. And here comes the smoke bomb. Here comes the damage. B, I don't know if he's ready for it.
No.
I think he's just getting deleted, and he will get crushed right there. He will get clapped right there, actually.
And so far, Foxy Llama is way ahead in this match, and I feel like this is another matchup that he could win. Jillycell definitely needs to kind of step it up here in these next 3 games.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Foxy Llama so far has been having a fantastic showing, and he's going to need to pick up as many wins as possible. And right now, I feel like he actually has the compositional advantage. Nice shutdown there on that Dragon's Breath CC attempt from Ceruleum, and that will put Foxy Llama on DR. But that means that the RLS should be somewhat safe here. Ceruleum going for that combustion anyway. Foxy Llama, is he in the ring of fire there? He is, actually. So he breaks out of that first polymorph. Ceruleum just rotting down right now. Cauterize triggered, trying to hold on to his ice block. Pikaboo taking a lot of damage here as well. Pikaboo still has some cooldowns to work with. I believe that Cloak of Shadows cooldown is from that last game. Or it definitely is, because it's only a minute in. So Pikaboo has that Cloak of Shadow as well. And let's see if they can get that pressure that they need. So far, Ceruleum already down a major defensive, and we just entered Dampening.
Yep, and Dampening is very dangerous in this mode. I mean, it ramps up incredibly fast, and these healers are going to have to deal with that. Ceruleum with an Altar Time right now, making himself not really a target, but it looks like they're just going to be going after the Warlock. But this is what I'm saying. This is the map. He's paying dividends, and they make a swap on Clapper. Pika with a big kidney shot, and he manages to take down Clapper very, very easily. And that's the thing. Those consistent kidney shots on the Warrior, especially if he's training the Warlock, can be absolutely devastating. So now Foxy Llama finds himself in a spot where he's up 4-0. I do feel like Foxy Llama has a good opportunity here to put 5 points on the board.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I was just looking at Pikaboo's score. Pikaboo had 7 wins heading into this. If he wins this round and the next round, Pikaboo will land at 11 points. Now, 11 points. Ooh, Clapper getting deleted in the opener, baby. Pikaboo with a very aggressive opener there with the rest of his team. They do force out the trinket, the Iron Bark, full blind sap here onto Gillis. He gets sapped on his trinket. Pikaboo making some work right now. There's the growth. There's the cap totem. And they continue the chain. They will.
That's the move.
Pikaboo, that's the move, baby.
That's the kind of plays you expect from Pikaboo. Really, really aggressive opener. He blinds Jillycell and then instantly vanishes. And it's like, okay, well, if you trinket, I'm going to sap you. Then he waits, he waits, he waits, saps him, then instantly saps the trinket. Just an absolute nightmare. Pikaboo's a menace on that assassination rogue. And as a result, Foxy Llama, I mean, he's happy to pick up a win like that. Question is, can they do it as Mage Lock Shaman? You know, composition that we used to see all the time in previous versions of the game, but Shaman just not really the most picked healer with double caster. So we'll see if they can actually make it work. It would be impressive.
Pikaboo really, really needs to win this lobby. If Foxy Llama can win it, he will be the one who gets 6 wins. The second player here, actually, and the first healer, I think, across both regions. But Pikaboo really needs this win because that would put him at 11 wins. 11 wins was what the lowest person had on EU yesterday when they qualified. So if Pikaboo can do it, the assassination dream might be alive, depending on how some of the other matches go. And they're going for it right now. Foxy Llama in a kidney shot, trinkets out, trades out the spirit link, but they're just continuing this pressure. He's just rotting down here. There's Descendants, and he will do it. Pikaboo coming in with 4 wins in the lobby. That will put him at 11 wins in total. So we'll see how the math works out, how many first place, second place, etc. he got. But Pikaboo going to at least feel a little bit better. Yeah, it was a good last push here from Pikaboo. I think as the assassination rogue especially, I think he deserves a lot of respect for that performance. That smoke bomb into blind sap trinket play that he did was absolutely disgusting to look at. No, Aiden!
Oh.
He loses. Look at the opponent's strength. He didn't make it. He loses on the 4th tiebreaker, dude.
Or Aiden.
Wow.
He had a great run. I mean, that's definitely unfortunate, but you can see, okay, so our top 8 is going to be Calvish on the Outlaw Rogue, Dippy on the Moonkin. That's a big surprise of today. Drizzy on the Outlaw Rogue. You have Fuse on the Feral Druid, Trill on the Outlaw Rogue, Pikaboo on the Assassination Rogue, holding it down. The only rogue to play non-outlaw. So that's kind of cool. Then you have Big Mix on the Survival Hunter, and KZ Fox on the Rep Paladin. So kind of interesting. We're seeing a Rep Paladin, we're seeing a Moonkin, a Feral Druid, a Hunter, and then a bunch of rogues. We got a lot of rogues, and the rogues have been really, really strong today.